Member for Saanich North and Islands.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There's been over 1,100 arrests that have been made at the Fairy Creek Old Growth logging blockades. It's the largest act of civil disobedience in Canadian history, spurred by this government's failed leadership to protect old growth forests. The videos of the conduct of the RCMP, our contracted provincial police force, are difficult to watch as they cause physical and emotional trauma. As the tension grew and the violence increased, all we got was silence from this BC NDP government. BC Supreme Court Justice Thompson found the RCMP's use of exclusion zones that limited media access to be illegal, calling the actions of the RCMP regrettable and damaging to our court's reputation. He criticized the RCMP decision to remove their identification and the lack of enforcement of a directive to remove badges displaying the thin blue line. All summer, the Minister of Public Safety and Solicitor General, the minister responsible for policing in this province, has been silent. My question, through you, Honourable Speaker, is to the Minister of Public Safety and the Solicitor General. What specific action has the minister taken to protect the civil liberties of the protesters?
Minister of Public Safety.
Thank you, honourable member, and I thank the member for the question. I'd remind the member that the issue he's referring to is currently before the courts under appeal, and therefore I've got no further comment in that regard.
Member for Saanich North and Islands, supplemental.
Well, that's what I'm asking about is police accountability. That's not before the court. That's the responsibility of every member in this chamber. Police accountability is our responsibility, and we bestow that responsibility on the Minister of Public Safety. It is completely unacceptable for him to stand in this House today and deflect that, saying that a matter of an injunction is before the court. What I'm talking about is that protecting the civil liberties of British Columbians. Justice Thompson refused to extend that injunction because of the unacceptable behaviour of the RCMP. That matter was decided. As Paul Wilcox summarized in the Tyee, Justice Thompson, quote, found the RCMP's enforcement trampled on civil rights, went far beyond the terms of the injunction, unreasonably hid the actions from journalist scrutiny, and failed basic tests of accountability, end quote. The minister has failed to make clear to the public and the RCMP throughout this summer his expectations of this government. He failed to demand access for the media, failed to demand officers wear proper identification, and failed to protect citizens in this province. We live in a democratic society, not a police state. We must ensure it never deteriorates to that by demanding accountability in this place, not the House of Commons, here. As Wilcox wrote, and I agree, if the provincial government refuses to provide oversight, there is no meaningful accountability, Mr. Speaker. Our provincially contracted police service is the responsibility of the Minister of Public Safety. Through you, Honourable Speaker, to the Minister, will he stand in this chamber today and state publicly his expectation that all police services in this province uphold the law as outlined by Justice Thompson in both his decisions?
Solicitor General.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I thank the member for the question. And again, as he refers to the decisions that are under appeal, I have no comment on that and cannot comment at this point. But in a more general situation, what I would say is that the Solicitor General in this province does not direct the police, and nor do we ever want politicians telling police what they should and should not do, Honourable Speaker. If there are issues and there are complaints, there are processes that are well established by legislation where people are able to make complaints against the police and they are investigated by independent bodies, Honourable Speaker. Those are in place. I am aware that complaints were made. I am also aware that those complaints are being looked into and investigated, which is exactly what should happen, Honourable Speaker.